guys, this is Rust Never Sleeps part 39, I think. Pretty sure it's 39. So it's been about a week, I suppose. You can see here the chassis has been outside and it's got more rust on it now, so I think that's all as far as that needs to go, just to make it a bit more older looking. So what I'll be doing today is, now that I've greased and Loctited everything that needs to be done on the rear axle assembly and the front end, one of the main things I did was put these brake shoe calipers on the front. And if you've been watching this video series for the last year and a half or nearabouts, those little red buggers have been sitting on this table for that long. So finally I got my ass around to JB welding those in. So yeah, that's good. About bloody time too, I think. So later on I'll detail a little bit, probably run a little wire out of this, the brake shoe calipers, and up and around or something like that. We'll see how we go. You know, that's getting into the real piddly details at that stage. But anyway, whilst this was sitting outside getting its natural patina, I was working on some of the electronics, because as I put this back together, the electronics are going to be going in at the same time. And that is a story of sorrow and woe. I'll just get that shit out now and show you what I've been doing. Okay, so I got this laid out, the wiring harness here. I think almost everything's there. So here's my little box of electronic gizmos. Pretty much the center is the multifunction unit. Everything pretty much goes into this or through it. So where my problem started actually was this front end here, this radiator shell and headlights. If you're new to the series, just check out the playlist, and it talks about there'll be videos about when I built this part. But so I did the wiring harness for this. Long story short, looking pretty with the wee mesh thing, and it's got the yellow one there is the LEDs, yellow and black, and red and black over there is the speaker. But when I did put in the wrong resistors for the LEDs, and the LEDs burnt out after a few hours, so and I had some other problems with the electronics, so I got a friend in, because I got friends that are total geeks, and they love this sort of stuff, so it's really good to get their input. And we tested the LEDs that come out of another kit, got the forward voltage and all that sort of thing. So I was using online calculators and all that sort of thing. Like, I knew I had to put resistors in there, but I just got my numbers wrong. And also when I went to the shop and brought the resistors, I brought the wrong ones anyway. So instead of 68 ohms, I had 6.8 in there, so they didn't do nothing. Got that squared away. He came around, we tested stuff, and got the correct voltage, forward voltage, resistance, watts, and all that sort of jazz. So he gave me some resistors. I've soldered those in line with these two white LEDs. So now this front harness bit is all good. What else we do? Because I'm not running the power to this card off the ESC, I'm using a BEC. This gives you a better power supply. I got a mate that's got one of these cards as well. He's running it straight off his speed controller, and his sound unit will cut out, and we think it's because there's a voltage drop when he's dropping the hammer, and this thing's losing voltage. This thing here, let's see if you can see that, 3.5 through to 12 volts. So what I did was, this is the Castle Creations 10 amp BC, plug that into the laptop, and we set the output voltage of this to 6 volts, because this has, you can set what this will put out, and its default is 5.1 volt. So I've just got it temporarily wired up to a Dean's here. So this is feeding into the receiver. The receiver is not the receiver being used in this project. This is being used temporarily while I'm testing theories. Same with this speed controller. This receiver is for the wolf spider truck actually. Anyway, we've got the power going into the card here, got the sound set, not completed, but I need to do more work on that. I'll probably do a video about that. But we did program it to turn off and on the headlights, and I also programmed it to turn the brake lights on. I'll power everything up and show you that in a sec. What else happened? This is the transmitter and receiver I was going to use in this model, but I cannot use it, it turns out, because what I was thinking is these two buttons here are the third channel, and you can program that to be a 2 position, a 3 position, or a 4 position switch. But that is a 2 position switch. The way it's it's a firmware software thing, but basically you can get to 3 positions using this, but via a 2 position switch. I don't know if I'm explaining that correctly, but it's not a true 3 position switch. It's a 2 position switch that you can select 3 positions with. It's, yeah, not well worded I suppose, but I know in my brain I know what I mean. But basically I need a 3 position switch with on, off, on basically. And excuse me. So what I ended up doing is going to this one, which is an RC 4-wheel drive 4 channel radio, and I've got it in parts at the moment, and I'll get to that. This is fine, it's working, and I didn't really want to use my RC 4-wheel drive 4 channel, but needs must. So this is going to get donated to the build so that these sounds and the lights can be selected in a way that I think will be nicest for the end user. And you'll see a hole here, right there, that usually has a switch in it, which I've taken out. Oh god. Here we go. I've got it in a wee baggie at the moment, but this little board here has a 3 position switch. So it's a on, off, on type. And what I want is an on, off, on momentary type switch. So, because this is, you know, on all the way, stays on. So what I'm doing is I've ordered a replacement switch here, and we will desolder that switch, and we'll add another switch on here, which will have momentary, so it always returns to center. Then I can use the left and the right to select the function here and trigger the function. So things haven't quite panned out the way I thought it was going to, but we're getting there. I've hit some bumps in the road, but I'm getting over them. What else I do? I soldered in the correct resistors for the red LEDs for the brake lights, and that's about it really. This stuff here is pretty cool. This is Year Racing, a Year Racing product, and you get a meter of it. It's kind of a meshy wire sleeve thing. And it's cheap as chips, man. It's a few bucks. I think I got this from RC Mart. So look it up, search engine if you want. Okay, what I'm going to do is turn off the camera quick, like grab a battery, and I'll grab the transmitter I'm using for the wolf spider, and I'll just quickly show you what I'm trying to achieve here. Okay, so I've got this little battery plugged in to the BEC, and that's supplying 6 volts to the receiver, which is setting it to the multifunction unit, servo, so forth. The thing, and that's the thing, I had to set my voltage here to 6 volts. I had to know what my voltage was in order to set get the right resistors for the LEDs here and here, because this card will output the same voltage it's receiving. So if this was set to 5.1 default, this would output 5.1 volts to the LEDs on the I/O pins. So that's why I set this to 6, because I figure it would be the best for the servo and a good voltage for that and all that sort of yada yada. Electronics, man. Eesh. Right, anyway, I'm using this at the moment, which is this is for the Wall Spider project, but Wall Spider's got the same multifunction unit, so everything's squared away already with this thing. So basically, if I go one across, so what that is now is the sound for the car. I have concerns about the sound set not matching this car, but I'm going to have to get to that later. But what you may have noticed is the LEDs here. It's set up so that, I'll turn that off. It's set up so that if you drop the hammer and release quite quickly, the LEDs will, and you can also do it by a quick tapping the reverse here. Or say I was going forward and I released the throttle. So what it's doing basically is it's listening for the throttle, and if it detects it drops back real fast, it just applies power to the pin, appropriate pin, for I don't know what that is, 1 or 2 seconds. So that's how you hook up the brake light effect with this. I mean, this card's fully programmable. You can do all sorts of business and tell those pins how to behave. It's just that I've got this set up to the brake mode at the moment. The other thing is, I think 3 of those across. Yep. So the headlights are turned off and on. Hold on. I'll get that over here so you can see what's going on. So off, on. And the way you do that is you select the function by flicking the 3 position switch in one direction, and then you flick it in the other way to execute the function. So if I go 1, 2, and then position 2 in this case is set up to the engine rev sound effect. So position 1 is start engine. Position 3, turn on the headlights. That sort of stuff. So basically, instead of using a big old stick radio like this, I want to have a pistol radio, but I want a spring-loaded momentary 3-position switch in it. Excuse me. And that is why I'm pulling apart my RC4 drive 4-channel to remove the switch you would usually use for a winch or something like that and turn it into a momentary contact switch, so I can use it for selecting and triggering commands in this TSB unit here. So that's it really. That's the short story. It was it's just me and electronics. It's nothing wrong with electronics, it's just the way I am. I'd rather be out there cutting and bending metal than running wires and stuff like that and trying to figure out mass and voltage. It's not my strong suit, we should say. So what I'm going to do now is set up the camera, and I'll put those 2 parts back onto the chassis, and then I can start really thinking about running wires and how I'm going to set the conduit up around places. And I still need to figure out how to put the Holmes Hobby speed controller in the back here, because there's very little room in that boot, and that's quite a large form factor. Speed controller, where is it? That one here. So that's the Torque Master. This was donated to this project by Holmes Hobbies, by the way. They donated the speed controller and the motor. The 540 can. So yeah, I'll be putting this in hopefully in place of this old Traxxas XL5. This here actually is probably going to end up in the other rod I'm building at the moment, the shop truck. Anyway, set up camera, we'll put this chassis back together so it's got wheels again. That'll be cool, and we'll see how we go from here. there you go. The I've got the rear mounted back in under there, looking pretty. Same for the front. I haven't attached the ends of the hairpins yet because that involves the holes in the front of this firewall and cowl here, so it goes through that to get into the I'll probably do a temporary test mount again, just to be sure that this is perpendicular or square or whatever with the chassis. One thing I did do, it was quite exciting, is I finally put the hubs in these rooms. Pretty things, aren't they? This whole build I've never put these on over this last year and a half or so, because I figure I'll be taking the wheels off and on while I'm building it. So the fact that I've gone to the trouble of putting all those individual hardwares on there now, it's a good sign. That means hopefully we're on the home straight, and all I'm doing now is putting shit back together and running the wires. I haven't really been interested in filming too much of the electronics, because it's pretty common with RC builds and build videos, and I find the electronics a bit dry, to be honest. So if you want to see more, just comment and I'll make an attempt. But having said that, if you want to know more about the Benedini sound unit, that thing there is a playlist on my channel where I go through setting it up and programming it and all those sorts of things. So that's this video for this week, I think. Next thing I'm going to do is take this back end and temporarily mount it on here. Sort out a wee bit more of the harness here so it's removable, and so it's easy to take this off later. So I'll be adding a couple of little plugs, JST plugs there, to make this removable instead of running it all the way through to the multi-function unit, which will be mounted around here. Then I really got to put some thought into how I'm going to put that Holmes Hobby speed controller in the back here with the two little batteries, and if I can do it, hopefully I can. That'd be the preference. What else? Parts turn up in the mail. To replace the switch in the controller, put the motor in the little V8, scale V8 engine block here. Put that all back in with an electric motor inside it, and mount that to the transmission, which is over there. Yeah, just everything. But hopefully everything should pretty much go together, because it's already been done bar the electronics. So running wires, but I've got my little harness here done, dry, so it's I know everything plugged in where it needs to be and everything's working. It's just a matter of mounting it in here. Anyway guys, I think that's what I'm going to do on this one today. Next video hopefully will be on the the shop truck, the other rat rod, and that's looking really cool, man. That's weathering up a treat. You're going to love it. So I'll probably do a video on that next week. Anyway, catch us later.